I was not thinking about this correctly. If an engine is not using fuel, it means it's not making horsepower. See, I do read your comments. Some of them just save my bacon. Oh man, did you guys save me from a near catastrophe? Yes, you did. Let me refresh your memory about what's going on with the boost gate that I was gonna put on down here. Still surging like crazy. Here is the surge. So it jumps up there and then all of a sudden, engine RPM perfectly static. Nice, looks great. And then all of a sudden it starts surging. We are going to put on the 76 millimeter boost gate. But I'm gonna have to figure out how to put that boost gate right here. See, I have throttle bodies on both sides, so it's actually gonna be basically in the intake manifold. Alrighty, you guys saved me from making a big mistake. I was not thinking about this correctly. So I even responded back to some people that left comments saying, oh, when am I ever gonna be driving this at closed throttle and this would need to be open? That doesn't make any sense. No, it does make sense. Let me explain. I was gonna put it after the throttle bodies right here, which most of the time, yes, it would be operational. It would be naturally closed, which would be no boost leak, no air leak. And then when throttle blades open and then I started requiring boost, it would close. And then going down track, it would close because I'm trying to make boost. But if I was ever trying to control boost here, throttle blades would be all the way open. But it was not registering to me that as soon as I close throttle blades at the end of the pass, this thing would have to be perfectly in sync, or if it ever was not in sync, it would just flat out be open, and this would then become the throttle. Because boost would shut off right here at the throttle body, but then this would just be a great big wide open throttle manifold leaf. So it's like, oh my gosh, that does not work. Thank you. See, I do read your comments. Some of them are pretty good and some of them just save my bacon, even after I replied back to you. So I apologize to the guys that I replied back and said, no, that's not the way it works. No, you're right, that is the way it works. So anyways, what we're gonna do now is a totally different setup. Now, one of the things that I do like about Fuel Tech is Fuel Tech has some of the best customer service, period, that's fine. Obviously, Turbo Smart, is making this awesome gate here. This is the big 76 millimeter gate. So, backtrack a little bit. I'm trying to figure out, oh man, how am I gonna put this big gate out here? I gotta tie in somehow into this pipe and that pipe and wide in here. And I said, what a cluster fudge that's gonna be. That's gonna be ugly. I mean, it's just, I won't be able to, dang, what do I gotta do? All right, I'll call up Marty over at Turbo Smart and I'll say, hey dude, here's what I came up with. And I had already talked to him about where to put this, and he wasn't thinking about it right either. And then of all the little ramifications of what can happen there, if the motor failed, wire gets cut and it goes open, it's wide open throttle, right? A lot of badness that could happen doing that. So anyways, I call him up and I said, hey man, can I get 2 of your smaller gates, and then maybe I'll put 1 in each tube because I have a twin throttle body setup. Let me show you those. So these are the 2 gates, 1 big gate, whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, 2 small ones. So forget this one, not gonna use it. So then I'm thinking, all right, yeah, cool. So Marty was thinking, well, you're gonna have to make some little adapter, and then maybe you could put it on where your existing blow-off valves went. And I'm going, all right, well, let me think about that. I put a call into Fuel Tech to my guys over at Fuel Tech and go, hey, give me a call. I need to go over this with you. So while I'm waiting for them to call me back, I come over and I take my blow-off valve off, and check this out. This makes me so freaking happy. Pink. Done. Oh, it's the same flange. I'm so freaking happy about that. It's the same flange. It literally will just bolt on right there and go. So let me explain how this actually is working. Now, it's got two different things, because we're here, or I'm here, to, when I learn something and figure something out, I share it with you guys. And we're learning stuff. I am still learning all the time. If you are alive, you better still be learning stuff, period. All right? So here's what we learned. Talking to Bill over at Bullseye Power and tell him what I'm going to do. And I go, hey, I'm going to use the boost control only here, and I'm going to cap off the turbos on the hot side. And he goes, yeah, you can do that. And there are people that do that, but it's not good to do. And I go, oh, why is that? And he said, all right, says, here's what's going on. So here's what's going on if you're just trying to use cold side for boost control down track. We're not talking about on starting line. We're talking about down track, okay? What you're making the turbo do is the same thing as the centrifugal. You are making the turbocharger move all the air that it can. It drives up the back pressure in behind the turbo on the hot side, and all it does is make really hot air. So what Bill told me was that everybody that does that, uses these for control down track, ends up having to take a whole bunch of fuel out of it for the same amount of boost. What does that mean? Think. Got the wheel turning, wheel turning, wheel turning. If an engine is not using fuel, it means it's not making horsepower. Period. If it takes less fuel at the same amount of boost, it is either astronomically efficient, which it is not, or it's making less horsepower because the air that is getting into the engine is hotter, is bad air. Very simply put, it's bad air. Hot air is bad air. Okay? So it's like, all right, crud. Yep, I understand what you're getting at, Bill. You're right. All right, you're right. You're a turbo guy. I'm not the turbo guy. You're right. Okay, so, all right. So let me get on phone. Oh, hey, sweet. Fuel Tech calls me back. I start talking to Cameron over there, and Cameron tells me the same god darn thing. He goes, no, you don't want to do that. He says, we have people that are doing that leave them hanging open all the way down track to control boost. He says, every one of them makes less horsepower with the cold gate open with the same amount of boost as they do this no gate open and using hot side wastegates. I'm telling you what Fuel Tech says. They got the experience. He says every car makes less horsepower doing that. Well, that is obviously not what I want to do. I do not want to make less horsepower, although it would probably be beneficial to me most of the time to get down track, but because we can make more horsepower. Oh, that reminds me. So one more time. No, we are not using all the horsepower that this engine will make in the car currently. Not even remotely close. Not even close, okay? Because I got to get all this other stuff sorted out, and probably never will be able to use all the horsepower that the engine will generate. Probably will never be able to put a full 4,500 horsepower plus down. It is really hard pressed to do it. I mean, if you did, it's like for the last 2 seconds out the back door or something like that at the 8th mile. But anyways, I digress. So then Cameron is helping me through. I said, well, this is what I need to do. He goes, well, this will control, two of these will control boost perfectly on starting line and even give you a little bit of launch control, but I don't recommend running it down track. I go, okay, cool. He says you can run both of them. You can run CO2 gates and E gates in the Fuel Tech system all at the same time and control boost in 2 different strategies. Sweet. Okay, cool. But what happens there is that the way boost strategy is if it is asking for more boost, whatever you have on it is trying to close. And I said, oh, dude, that is not what I'm trying to do. I said, I need to open this, have this valve open, because where my surge is at, I can't make target. So I'm not like making target boost and then the thing oscillates. No, on the way up to making target boost or right at it, it starts oscillating. So this thing would just is not going to work. So he goes, okay, I understand. We need to create a open loop leak in the system and figure out how to manage and control that. I said, yeah. And then when you let go of the trans brake button, these things just close, and that operates on the normal wastegates, which has decreased back pressure and cooler charge air temps, i.e. more horsepower, right? Okay, so they have come up with a strategy to treat these as a drive-by-wire throttle body. So it's still all mechanical, but the computer is going to control these just like it is a drive-by-wire throttle body. Twins, because there's going to be one on the other side. So one for each pipe. Now, Cameron did tell me, he says, oh, the ideal place to put these kind of wastegate valves is like right here in the bend at the high pressure, high speed area of the port. But because of how I'm going to use this, I'm only trying to figure out a certain position, and I'll explain this in just a second. A certain position, a certain leakage position, that this position on the valve at this RPM makes this much boost. Period. And it would be open going up to it. So when it's open, coming up to that spot, it might be fully open, and then as it kind of comes down, it'll kind of close partially, and then would just stay there, making perfect boost, perfectly smooth, perfectly good. Be really nice. Okay, should get there quicker, should do a lot of stuff even nicer. All right, so how he's going to do that is do this all by drive-by-wire control, and so it'll be drive-by-wire RPM over TPS. So when the TPS right here, well, where's my TPS? Oh, right here. My TPS sensor right here is going to feed signal to the drive-by-wires. So when it is at 100% TPS or 90% TPS and above, whatever it may be, we can program that. So this is infinitely programmable wherever I program that to be. So let's just say 100 for the sake of keeping things easy, okay? At 100% throttle, this thing will be open. And then the RPM is the secondary tune, so it would be open minus whatever RPM it is. So like at 2000 RPM and 100% TPS, it'll be at one position, and as engine RPM goes up, it'll decrease, and then as boost, or it's not boost reference at all, because that's how we have to figure it out. There's no boost to plumb into it. There's only two parameters. So there's going to be RPM and TPS. So upcoming in the Fueltech 700, we'll be able to do all that and add another parameter to it to be boost related and do a bunch of other stuff to control the valve. But currently we're just going to operate it as wide open throttle, open, RPM, percentage of open. As soon as trans brake release happens, then throttle, I can't remember how he says it's going to do it, but basically it disregards everything and just flat out closes the blade, making all boost and making it run on the wastegate, the existing hot side wastegate. So really interesting stuff. The turbo really can't. True, it still does not overspeed. True, it balances out. True, there's some benefits of it. True, it will make less horsepower doing boost control with only compressor side. Big deal. Did not know that. Sharing to you top secret crap that only pro modified teams and other people even have a clue of. And they all go, I'm not telling anybody that because I don't want them to go fast either. I don't care. I'll tell you guys just about everything. Almost. But anyways, so that is what we're doing with the wastegates. So I'm going to be able to just put them here. I got my wiring guy, Alex, is coming over to run wires and get everything all hooked up so it runs through the correct circuit. Cameron will jump on and run through the whole thing of how it's going to control and test, and me and him will just test it from here. He's still down in Georgia, down at Fueltech, so we'll just test it, make sure everything works, and we'll find the perfect position to make X amount of boost on each time. So really pretty fascinating deal how this actually is going to work and what we're doing. Now, I got a couple things I'm going to show you here, including a really weird big block Chevrolet cylinder head. In the next one of the next upcoming videos, we're going to show you all about this deal. Twin spark plug big block Chevrolet. I wonder what that's for. And let me show you something else that we're working on. Alrighty, something else cool that you probably didn't know we were doing, and we're actually just doing this for Dunn Performance, is he's big into the side-by-side market. And he was big and still is big into snowmobiles and drag sleds and huge horsepower snowmobiles and stuff like that. Now has, and this is a dependable, which is what we've been working on with them. It's been much better. A 3-cylinder Rotax 1200cc engine, and we do the cylinder head for him now, and actually looks like we're now going to, I figured out what's wrong with their blocks, and we're going to re-sleeve, we're going to do some stuff on these that are going to make them significantly better and stronger. These things make 900 horsepower right now. 900 horsepower, 3-cylinders. That's in a side-by-side. And their stuff right now is living and really doing well, but this is just one of those other things that we're doing. So full ported, and we're going to start working on a 900cc program for him too. So anyways, super cool stuff that we're doing. I'm going to let you go right now. So remember, like, subscribe, share the video around. We need to drive the traffic back up. Had all those good videos with Cletus in there, but and then it goes poop. Or here, whatever. But anyways, like, subscribe, share the videos, share it to your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, your aunt, your uncle that you really don't like, but you're gonna send them a video anyways. Send it to all those guys. I'm Steve Morris. Have a great day.